able to see their firstborn. But they did it why? For you, for me. So we can experience this freedom. And sometimes not even for us, but from somebody else in a distant land that are crying out, help us, help us. We need your assistance. Yesterday in our church, we played a video that my wife got for me. I thank her for that. In the background, it had Amazing Grace. And you hear Amazing Grace, that saved a wretch like me. But in the background, you know what it was? A memorial of all our fallen soldiers. At the gravesite, where a mother was there, receiving a flag, where a young child, a son or a daughter was receiving, because their dad was no longer around. Their mother was no longer around. People were weeping, people were crying. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, sons. But you know what? They weren't complaining. They weren't murmuring. At these memorials, you saw other soldiers had no leg, no hand, on wheelchairs. No one was crying. No one was complaining. Yes, they lost that loved one, but they knew what they were doing for freedom, for our way of life. A couple of years back, when our soldiers were dying, and it was all over the media, they went to the hospitals, and they saw these soldiers that got hit by claymore. They had shrapnel on their head. You saw their head was cut. Their arms were gone. Their legs were gone. Parts of their intestines were removed. They're saying, look at what are we fighting for? What are we doing for? Every soldier said, I would do it again. They're trying to throw a bad spin. But you know what? Every soldier, every woman, every man says, I'd do it again. It's for the freedom that you and I have. You know, I don't have a cover, so I can't salute you. But you know what? I honored you. Veterans before me that are older, those that served. I didn't go into wartime. I joined, but there was no war. But you know what the service taught me? Loyalty, commitment, faithfulness. Showed me how to serve people. You know, it's been 31 years since I came out of the service, but every time I get in a plane, because I travel sometimes, I look for possible threats. If he gets up, if this guy gets up, how will I take him down? I'd gladly give my life for somebody else to live free. Everywhere I go, my wife's going, what are you doing? Checking out the situation. 31 years, it's still in me, and I pray that it never leaves. You know, I came out of the service. I was a Marine for 4 years of my life, and you know what? I go, what now? What now? Had an opportunity to be an assassin. And all that rang through my mind was, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill. Because I didn't know where to turn. And my mom, thank her, she's at the back. She invited me to church. Church, Mom, cut it. But you know what, 22 years old, full of pride, arrogance, strong-willed, that's the way Marines are. I started crying. 22 years old, I just started bawling. Tears rolling down, snot was coming out. My arms were all shiny. Didn't know what to do. I go, what's wrong? She goes, that's God. He loves you. He wants to help you. I went to a small church. Didn't understand what the guy was saying. He says, don't you want a better life? And I said, yes. He says, God can help you. And I went up to an altar and I gave my life to a King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I gave my life to a soldier. I gave my life to a warrior. I gave myself to one that says, I don't care about my life, I'll give it for others. And you know what? What I had learned in the Marine Corps, I brought it into Christianity. I stopped cussing. I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking. I stopped taking drugs. I stopped beating up people. Hey, listen. With that militant attitude, I took it into serving God. And you know what? I am blessed. Every dream, every desires I had as a little boy, I've seen it come to pass. And what I want to tell you this afternoon, someone great before you and I gave the ultimate sacrifice. He laid on a cross. He didn't care about the shame. He didn't care about the rhetoric. He didn't care about the ridicule. He didn't care about the mockery. He saw the future. He saw your life. He saw my life, empty with no hope. He says, I'll die for them. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, no greater love than this, than a man would lay down his life for his friend. And as you and I, veterans, as you served, you're willing to give your life for that comrade, for that friend. When you're in that foxhole, when they would throw a grenade, you were willing to jump on it if you didn't have time to throw it off. You were willing to throw your life in harm's way for your fellow soldier. Well, over 2,000 years ago, someone did it for you and I. Took all the mockery, all the pain, all the ridicule, all the torture that man could inflict upon him for our lives, so you and I can experience freedom. His name was Jesus Christ. And he still lives today, and he wants to help us. Everything that you and I have, everything that our country is experiencing, the joy, the freedom, the abundance, he paid for. On our brochure, it says time to time, our countrymen have been called upon to defend our land. Men and women alike have answered the call to duty to serve proudly, honorably, and bravely because of the grace of God. God has stepped in and gave us bravery, gave us strength, gave us honor, gave us dignity. We have to remember that. We have to remember that. Our soldiers are in another country fighting for what you and I have. This morning I woke up early and I was thinking what I had to say to you this morning. And just like now, tears welled up in me for what you've paid for what I have. Can't forget it. It may have been a long time. You can't forget what our forefathers had fought for. Look at your history. Look at these older men. I see them, they're here. Survivors. Thank you. I appreciate your sacrifice. I appreciate your service. You paid the price for what I have today. God bless you.